Hey, welcome back. Today's topic of discussion is the growth and progress is in the work and the things that we are avoiding. Why is this the case? This is the case because when you feel resistance, that actually means it's kind of like persistence. And not so much persistence in that always means, oh, if you're avoiding something, if you feel resistance towards something, take action. That's not always what this means. Sometimes it means you need to let yourself think with that thought, sit in it, and understand why it's on your mind. Maybe it's a signal telling you need to move away from something. Maybe it's a signal telling you need to start that, you need to go towards it. Maybe it's telling you need to let yourself kind of explore this opportunity, explore this option. Maybe it's giving you an idea. Maybe it's propelling you to take an action step to move forward. Maybe you're avoiding it because you're scared of your own potential. Resistance is persistence, and the work that we sometimes need to do to get us to move forward, whether that be in our ideas or to take action, is in what we are avoiding. And there's so many reasons we could be avoiding it. I think a lot of people feel that when there's resistance or friction or pressure in a certain area of their life, they like to just like avoid it or put it to the side and get back to it later. But what that really does is actually just create this kind of like we plant a seed in the back of our mind that just grows the longer that we don't tend to it. It's or like it almost, maybe that's not the right way to explain it, but it just kind of like becomes bigger and bigger the longer we maybe avoid it. And then by the time we actually address it, when it becomes so big in our brains, like that idea or that thought or that thing we're avoiding, we're like, wow, I didn't realize like how much this actually was affecting me. Or, kind of like when you bottle things up and then all of a sudden you just go like, you're like, this is how I've been feeling, XYZ, ABC, these are all my thoughts, I've been holding it in. It's like, sometimes the answers are in what we're kind of resistant towards. Something that likes to help, nope, that's not what I meant to say. Something I like to do when I feel a little bit of resistance towards something is I like to let myself sit and think with that, or even just like write things down, because at least that gets, half of it out of my head. Like it's honestly half the solution when you can write it down and clearly see the problem or the issue or the idea or thing in your head. When you can see it in front of you, you can be like, okay, that's half of it. Now, what do I need to do to make myself feel better or at peace or resolved with this idea? Why is it still in my head? How can I work towards, either taking action or moving away from it? And what can I do to progress with myself with this, resistance? And how can I turn that resistance into peace, action, or progress? Um, and a lot of people will avoid these things because sometimes what we resist is either a hard conversation, maybe it's a career move, maybe it's, moving towards someone and expressing feelings, or maybe realizing that something or someone or an opportunity or a place or a person or whatever is not for you. And these are hard things to admit because as we go through life and we evolve and we grow and we change with our identities, our ideas, our thoughts, the direction we want to go into, sometimes we think to ourselves, we're so fixated on an outcome or we had a dream and then we realized like maybe this isn't what I want, or maybe, I still want this and I still have this goal, but I need to, change the way I approach it, or change my thought process or direction towards something because now I'm learning a little bit more and I need to just kind of like take in more information. I think that it's important to just allow yourself that space and really take time and maybe even schedule it to think, are there things in my brain that need tending to? Are there pieces in my head, in my feelings, in my heart, and my thoughts that I need to actually, you know, take the time to go into the garden of your brain and just be like, I need to go to every single plant and water it. I need to go to every single, because like just like your brain is filled with so many thoughts and ideas, like think about a garden and how vast it is and how many plants there are and how many, insects there are and how many animals there can be coming in, and just think about that and just imagine your brain as a garden. And instead of turning the sprinkler on and just kind of letting the sprinkler water everything, maybe sometimes you need to take that, pot and go and water each individual plant itself, because maybe one plant needs a little bit less water than the other. Maybe some plants need, a different thing than the other. Maybe, something needs to be moved around. Sometimes it's really important that we be the own gardeners in our own brains sometimes and just go in there and manually water every single plant, water all the ideas, water all the thoughts, and really see like what needs growing, what needs tending, what needs moving. Instead of just being like, okay, I'm going to turn the sprinkler on and just let all the ideas happen and all the things flow and this and that. That organization is so important because you can see where there's friction, what needs movement. And that's a part of growth. It's a part of the process to maturing and taking responsibility for yourself and knowing what needs more from me and what doesn't. Maybe you're pouring into something that doesn't need that much water. Maybe you're overwatering a certain area of your life that, there's another idea or another thing in your life that you need to tend to more, but you're just focused on this one thing. Resistance is persistence. And sometimes we need to sit with ourselves and understand, like, in order to grow, in order to progress, if you ever feel stuck, just go to the garden in your own brain and just be like, okay, I'm going to write everything down. This is what I'm feeling kind of avoidant towards. This is what I'm feeling like I'm loving. What can I do here? What can I do here? And how can I make something, how can I, really just like pour into myself in the best way to allow myself the opportunity to create progress where there's resistance, to create flow where there's resistance, to create abundance where there is resistance, and allow yourself and let yourself do that without being hard on yourself. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed that little mini yap sesh, and I'll see you in my next video.